Introduction. Imagine a time before cities, before writing, before kings or gods were carved in stone. A time when survival depended on fire, stone tools, and the courage to face predators larger, faster, and deadlier than humans. This is the story of the Stone Age, the longest chapter in human history. For millions of years, humans and our ancestors lived as hunters, gatherers, and wanderers across vast landscapes. In this journey, we will trace the entire history of the Stone Age, from the very first chipped rock to the rise of farming and permanent villages. So settle in, this will be a journey across 2.5 million years of human history. Part 1. The Dawn of the Stone Age, Oldowan Tools 2.5 million years ago. The Stone Age begins not with fire, not with language, but with something deceptively simple, a rock. Around 2.5 million years ago in Africa, an early human ancestor, likely Homo habilis, picked up a stone and struck it against another. The result was a sharp edge. That edge could cut meat from bone, carve wood, or smash open marrow for nutrients. These were the Oldowan tools, the first known technology on Earth. Crude, yes, but revolutionary. With them, our ancestors could scavenge from carcasses left by lions and hyenas. They gained more calories, fueling brain growth, setting us on a unique evolutionary path. Part 2. The Age of Fire, Homo erectus 1.8 million years ago. With bigger brains came bolder steps. Homo erectus appeared nearly 2 million years ago and became the first great traveler of humanity. They spread from Africa into Asia and Europe, carrying tools and knowledge with them. Most importantly, they learned to control fire. Fire was warmth in freezing nights, safety against predators, and the first true hearth around which stories may have been shared. Imagine a dark savanna, a small group of Homo erectus huddled around a flickering flame. The shadows dance as someone cracks open a bone with a stone, while others chew roasted tubers. For the first time, the night belonged not to lions, but to humans. Part 3. The Acheulean Revolution, Hand axes 1.6 million years ago. Soon, stone tools became more sophisticated. Around 1.6 million years ago, humans invented the hand axe, a teardrop-shaped stone carefully flaked on both sides. The Acheulean hand axe was the Swiss Army knife of prehistory. With it, humans butchered animals, dug for roots, cracked nuts, and shaped wood. For over a million years, this tool dominated human survival. The leap wasn't just in technology, it was in thinking. To create a hand axe, one had to imagine its final form before starting, shaping stone with precision. This was the birth of human imagination. Part 4. The Middle Stone Age, Neanderthals and Symbolism 300,000 years ago. Fast forward hundreds of thousands of years. By 300,000 years ago, new humans arose, our cousins, the Neanderthals in Europe, and early Homo sapiens in Africa. Neanderthals weren't brutish cavemen, they were skilled hunters, making spears and living in family groups. They survived ice ages, hunted mammoths, and may have buried their dead. Meanwhile, in Africa, Homo sapiens were beginning to show signs of symbolic thought. They carved ochre with abstract designs, wore beads, and painted with pigments. The first sparks of art, myth, and identity flickered into existence. Part 5. The Upper Paleolithic, the birth of culture 50,000 years ago. Then came a turning point. Around 50,000 years ago, humans experienced a cultural explosion. This is the era of the Upper Paleolithic, when art, language, and religion flourished. Caves in France and Spain bear witness, paintings of bison, horses, and mysterious handprints. These were not decorations. They were stories, rituals, maybe even prayers. For the hunt. At the same time, humans created flutes, bone needles, and composite tools like bows and arrows. The Stone Age was no longer only about survival, it was about meaning. Part 6. The Mesolithic, the world after the ice 12,000 years ago. As the Ice Age ended, glaciers retreated, and vast new landscapes opened. This was the Mesolithic or Middle Stone Age. Humans adapted to forests, rivers, and coasts. They domesticated dogs, crafted microliths, tiny sharp stones fitted into wooden shafts, and fished with harpoons and nets. Life became more varied, and human groups grew larger. But the greatest change was on the horizon. Part 7. The Neolithic Revolution, Farming in Villages 10,000 years ago. About 10,000 years ago, in the Fertile Crescent of the Middle East, humans made the most radical shift in history. They began to farm. Wheat and barley were planted. Goats and sheep were domesticated. Instead of wandering endlessly, humans built villages like Catalhoyuk in Turkey. With farming came surplus food, and with surplus came population growth. People began to live in larger communities, build permanent homes, and create rituals tied to the cycles of seasons. The Stone Age was ending, giving rise to the first great civilizations. Conclusion: the legacy of stone. The Stone Age lasted over 99% of human history. For millions of years, stone was our most trusted tool, our survival weapon, and our creative outlet. It is easy to forget this age, overshadowed by the pyramids, empires, and modern technology. But without chipped flint, without fire, without painted caves and sown seeds, there would be no cities, no nations, no us. The story of the Stone Age is the story of humanity becoming human.